Hello. Hello. Anybody there? I'm nearly ready. Just firing up all the stuff that I have to. Okay. Okay. Yep, we are ready. We are ready. I think we are ready. Hello everyone and welcome to another stream of Plane Shift, the game that was never finished. Today I want to do something a bit different, but it's connected to what we were doing yesterday. So I went forward with the terraforming, and I would say that I managed to terraform a good part of the road and the connection between Oja Road 1 and BD Road 1, right? And now I want to put at least the beginning of a bit of the idea that I had yesterday, right? And I would like to have, what I was thinking is that I would like to have containers that are capable of activating something when you drop an item into it, right? Today we don't have this capability, and I think it's a pity that we don't have this capability, because you know, we may use it in puzzles, we may use it in you know, special places, we may use it to open doors when you put an item on a pedestal and things like that. So the idea would be now the only thing that I'm not completely sure is if I need a you know, a pedestal like this, or I mean, which kind of pedestal I want to use, and if I want the item that we are putting on the pedestal actually being displayed, right? It is something that you have to think about. Because it's not the same thing, right? But in theory it should not be that hard if the object has a socket, right? Or if the object has kind of a dummy position where to put the mesh, or maybe he has an empty mesh and we put the real mesh, right? Yeah, the other thing I wanted to see is game work content. Wait a second. Game work content vault. The other thing is, I'm not completely sure if I want to use this. Wow. Because basically this item, right, has been conceived for a very, very, very special location that I never developed. And I don't know if we look weird. Let me change the music a second. I don't know if it will look weird in the outdoors without that location. Let me lower the music and change the music. Meanwhile, hello Drogos. Hello Vadstart. Hi, welcome. And hello Fergus. Hello Hula. I don't know why I cannot autosave anymore, but you remember the discussion we had yesterday about the crystal, the ray of light, the pedestal, and all of that, right? So I was thinking, to use, but anyway, I can take any pedestal. I mean, it's not that I really need to use that one. I can use any. I mean, I can use this, or I can use whatever. I can obviously make them smaller, but I can use any. But the question is, how do we develop, you know, the code and the stuff? I mean, how do we develop this thing? Yeah, in terms of size, I think that is fine. Should it be a special pedestal or not? I don't really care at the moment. We can change the graphic later on. I mean, in theory, if you really want to have a special one, do you want to see a real special one? A real special one. Where is it? Oh wow, it's not here. It's not here. I don't see it. GG. It's not here for whatever reason. How was it called? It was called not pedestal. It was called shrine. Yeah, shrine. Ah, there it is. There it is. Holy moly! Look at this thing. Look at this thing, boys. But anyway. No, but apart from this, right? So the idea is if we have a pedestal, right, and we want to drop an item into it, what would be the easiest way? The easiest way would be to make a new item, right? We can maybe develop, I mean, we can add quickly to our maybe dummy database. We can also go to real database, it's the same. But the point is to add a new item, right? And I didn't think about this yet, right? So I'm purely brainstorming at this point because I didn't really think how to do this at all. But I think I want to do it, so that's the point. So I need to add a new item, and by the way, I need to know which is the item stats. Let me do this. Select max from item stats. No, not max that way. Max ID. From item stats. So we have a 148,717, really? Probably because above 100,000 and ID less than 100,000. I think above 100,000 we have where, sorry, 83,000. I don't remember if I had yes, here they are all the I can create one in whatever 90,000, right? So it's fine. So the point is there will be a container. Will be a container with one slot, right? So if I select flags and I do like flags like container, right? These are all containers, right? And these are the slots. So the only thing I need to do is okay, let me try. Which database are we now? We are in production. It's fine. It's fine. So if I duplicate this, and this one we call it 90,000, I mean it's fine. And we call it, how do we call it? we call it arcane pedestal, something like that. Weight, I don't know, is a million. You cannot really pick it up. And we go container max size 1, right? No, wait. Container max size is the size in units. So the size can be fairly big. It's no problem. So we can say 50 or 20 or 30 with one slot. You cannot pick it up, so it will be probably only bulk. It will be a container, yes. It will be a container. Decay rate, we don't really care. Can be 0. All the rest we don't care at all. The only thing that we care is the graphic, right? So the graphic could be, for example, I think we need a blueprint. I think we need a blueprint. So it will be a blueprint similar to whatever. Will be a blueprint. I'm thinking it should be an interactable, but because, for example, what we want to have, we want to have our pedestal, and our pedestal, if you put, an item on top of it, right, is kind of opening a door or is opening something, right? And I'm thinking where do I want to have the logic that connects the pedestal to the door? Do we want to have it? Oops. Do I want to use the mechanism that we have for interactable, so that, because we already have a chance, with interactable to trigger something, right? So we have, for example, a lever that is able to open a door. So we have that. Now here the only difference is that you will have to put the right item into it, right, to have something happen. You will have to put the right item into it. And now the problem is we have few issues. Do we want to have a logic that goes beyond one item? So for example, we shown yesterday, we want to have like a special table or something, and you have to position things in a special way, and so that position is really triggering, because the trigger is not that easy. The trigger, I will have to no, I mean, it's not hard. The trigger is just a do trigger inside interactable. Or we extend in, I think we should extend interactable somehow. But let me think about it. So we have interactable actor, right? Interactable actor is hello, Hula. Oh, no, I think I greeted you already. But anyway, I can greet you twice. So interactable actor is designed that the client requests a toggle, right? And the interactable actor reacts to this request, is checking all the conditions and all the prerequisite or whatever, and then is doing do toggle, and do toggle is actually doing the job, right? Is actually doing the job. So the idea would be inside request toggle, there are the properties that we have, like if it's trapped. Yeah, it would be nice to have it, for example, trapped or not, right? That you have to remove a trap on it before. So I think the check if trap is still valid. But how do I say that? If needed, for new functionalities in the blueprint, re-add this line. Hmm. 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 Yes. We could do it here. In theory, we could do it here. In theory. So we could we could have, you know, now the only problem is that we don't have yet an interactable actor that is that you can activate by dropping an item, right? So that's the problem. That's the problem. But for example, we have the one, wait, because I have to remember how I designed this way. For example, we have the one that is the pedestal, right? The pressing thingy, the thingy you can press. Is the pressure pad, right? The pressure pad works kind of in a different way, like you have to really press it, right? But the idea is pretty much the same. So there is a script. Exactly. There is the script that decides when the toggle happens. And when the toggle happens, what do? I do request toggle, huh? I do request the toggle. But how does this know that this is an automatic toggle? How does he know that? How does he know? Because by default it returns true. Because by default it returns true. Okay, so it basically we are bypassing. Okay, so we can actually call. No, but wait. The problem is that no. Wait a second. How can he? How can this work? Because the do toggle is triggered here, right? And it is saying if not disable direct interaction. But in our case, do you mean that I can press the pad also manually? There was a bit of a mistake then, huh? There was a bit of a mistake. There was a bit of a mistake. Okay, let me go. Why not a switch plate? What is a switch plate? Now, I would like to have it as a container because maybe we want to consume the item, right? Maybe we want to consume the item. Or we want to do something with the item, transform it, block it, whatever, right? So if we use our containers, I mean the plane shift containers, all of that becomes a bit easier, right? Because So for example, this pressure pad, right? This pressure pad has direct interaction on or off? Haha, he has it on. He has direct interaction on. Well, no, I understand, but okay, it's not solving our case. I didn't know that. So you can basically right click on the pressure pad and push it even if you're not pushing it. That's pretty bad. I mean, assuming that you push it with your hands. No, but I think we need a way that when the server says push it, it's just gonna push it. Without asking questions. You know, if it's server side, the request comes from the server. There should be no other check, right? Let me go. Let me go here. By the way, how many of you found this level? Some of you? None of you? How many of you found this level in the game? Still too dark, huh? Yeah. So I think no, I need to go level 1 to test that. That's not actually the best because basically means that this pressure pad, it is a pressure pad, right? I go on top of it and the gate opens. I go, you know, I go off and the gate goes down. So this basically means that how we have set it up now is that I can right click and do use. You see, and I basically toggle it without staying on top. And it is super bad because this means that basically that I can go through and it's defying the wall thingy. I didn't understand that this was actually possible. But looking at the code, I said, oh, right? So I think we need another parameter that is going through. The only problem is that must be server authorized. I mean, the server should say that. I cannot allow the client to call this and say, hey, I'm the server, right? I cannot allow that. How do I do it? How do I do it? I have an issue matching a real version work. I updated a new version, say the old graphics drivers I need to update one day. I'll be able to try it. Are you on Linux, on Windows, on Mac? Probably you are on Linux. It should be working without any problems. But yeah, you need to update your graphics driver for sure. You need Vulkan drivers on Linux. If you don't have a Vulkan driver supported video card, you will not be able to run it. That's the minimum requirement we have. But pretty much any game these days is requiring it, so... Well, not all, but... I mean, if you play Tetris, maybe not, but... So... Yeah. So that... Yeah, we... Okay. What we can do, we can have a property, you know, we can have a property on the object that is maybe called something like server activation, right? If I have a property here that is server activation, you see me badly, eh? What is T max FPS? I always forget. Yeah. 30. Is it better? Yeah, my head is still kind of so. I think it's because I have the client and I know I'm limiting 30 FPS at the moment. Suffering a bit. My PC is suffering a bit. The installed version is no issue. Installed 470 182. You can check the Linux channel and the Discord. Maybe there is people running it on Linux. So let's assume for a second that I'm adding a new flag that is called server activation or auto activate, something like, yeah, maybe auto something like auto activate, because I want the pressure pads so that you cannot right click and activate, right? Because it makes little sense. So in theory they should all be disable direct interaction, and they should all have kind of a server thingy. Now the problem is that this is really client side, right? But well, it's not client side because actually the I don't remember if the request toggle is happening. I don't remember if this happens client side first. I think it happens at the same time, client and server, because actually the collision is happening overlap. I have a printout there, but I can test it on my machine and see who is printing what. Yeah, let's do it 1 second. In theory it should happen server side, right? Because if that happens server side, I think we are safe. And we can actually disable the direct interaction and say, well, we could even go a step further and say if is a pressure pad, you know, just, but I think it's better if we flag it manually. Probably. So I could add a new property on interactable actor. And that property is saying allow server activation. Or I can detect it myself automatically, because in reality when I click on use, I think it's already server side though, huh? Need to think about this. When I click on use, there is the context menu, right? That is the context menu. When we click on use, I think we call use item UI. We call request toggle on server directly. We call request toggle on server, and this one is switching server side, right? This one is switching server side. So this one is going client to server, and then on server is calling request toggle, right? Now at that point I need to know the problem is that I arrive here from different I cannot just modify this function because I arrive here from different roads, right? I arrive here from this is kind of a problem. So we have request toggle, right? Request toggle, and then we have do toggle, which is actually the one that is doing the work, right? And we have as usual our client and server thingy, right? So here we are server side, here we are, you know, client side. But what happens is that when you click on use, right, the first thing that we do, we go server side, right? But the same happens when you do the pressure pad thingy, and they're all calling the same function. So we actually don't know if has been called by the client or by the server. We actually don't know. I mean, we don't know in that function. Obviously, we know before that function, but we don't know in that function. So I was just wondering, like for the pressure pad, right? For the pressure pad, it works this way. Let me just see 1 second with the pressure pad if I activate it manually. In theory, I would like to disable the manual thing. I really would like to disable it. I would like to disable that you can do this. Sliding object, yeah, it seems to happen server side. Pressure pad. Why I didn't see the... What? I didn't see that debug. Sliding object do slide, sliding object do slide. Request interactable window pressure pad. Yes, but I think we had... I mean, we said that we had this, no? We had... we had this overlap. Ah, because I'm not overlapping. Yeah, because I'm not overlapping. If I overlap, the overlap happens client side, overlap, and it happens server side as well. Yes. So it's actually happening both sides. I think if I solve the problem for the pressure pad, I will solve it also for the pedestal, because it's the same problem. So I would like to know if my do toggle is coming from the server. I think I need, let me think about, because if I have a lever, right? If I have a lever, it works differently. If I have a lever, I don't want to break what I did. So I have to be a bit careful in changing that, because if I break it, if I have a lever, right? The actual use command of the lever. The actual use command of the lever, as we have seen, happens anyway, both sides. But there should be one that is then propagating, right, the toggle, because the request toggle comes here, it sees that it's not trapped, it does the do toggle, and the do toggle is actually a blueprint implementable event. So it goes back to the blueprint code. It goes back to the blueprint code. It finds the do toggle, and actually is doing what it's doing, right? Through a replicated variable that then is replicated to all the clients. So this is really what is doing the work, right? This is what is doing the work. At the same time, yeah, the trigger of the trap or everything, every check is done before the do toggle, right? Is done in the request toggle. So I cannot do my work here. I have to do it. I have to do it in the request. I have to do it in the request. So in this request, so I will enter here, right? So when I add the item to the pedestal, I will enter here, because I will call a request toggle. And based on yeah, you see that, for example, we have this, right? We have the ability to run a script. We have the ability to run a script. Should I just put the item ID and fuck it, and that's the easiest way possible? Should I place the item ID and that's done? Because I could, so I could add a property. I think it's probably the easiest. I could add a property to my pad. I mean to my pedestal that says required item to toggle, right? Required item to toggle, and that one may keep the object ID or the name. The object ID would be better, so we go by ID. We don't have to search by name, right? So it will just be a bit faster on activation, but fine. And then on, yeah, exactly. I think I need two new parameters. One which is allow auto activation, right? Allow auto activation, and that will be flagged only at the moment for the pressure pad, I think. And then I need another parameter which is called activating object ID, right? Activating object ID, and that one will say the ID of the object that when put inside a container, or we can call it activating container ID, something like that. And that would be the ID of the object that if you put it into the container, is going to activate. Now, because you see, I already have, and then I will use a script on toggle to actually do whatever we want to do. So for example, if we want to burn the contained item, we can burn the contained item with the script. The only thing that I don't understand is the script on toggle. Ah, yes, it's executed here. It's exactly this one, script on toggle. And the script can toggle is this. No, I think it's good. I think with these two properties, I think with these two properties, I'm fine. Should we do it? Should we do it? Yes, I think we should do it. I think we should do it. We should document it a bit, but I think we have it on the wiki already, so I think it's doable. I think I have a page of interactable objects that I created on the wiki, right? Interactable actors, exactly. And this is explaining, yeah, the script can toggle, the script don't toggle and such, right? So for example, for the script can toggle, we say result, if actor gets killed value, blah, 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 right? Message no. Ah, we also have a message no. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's say we had these two things. Then how do I trigger when I put an item into it? How do I trigger? I will have in the container code. Yeah, I will add something in the container code that will say if the container is an interactable actor, then do this, this, and that, right? Yeah, I think it's a good plan. I think we can do it. Okay, let's try to do it. So what we need is a new variable that is blueprint visible, right? That is just after this disable interaction. It is pretty much similar to this, and is called auto activate. Or I don't know if I want to say auto activate because that seems to give another message. But basically, what I want to say is that it always allowed to activate if the server side says so, right? So I think that we can say something like allow server side activate, right? And this we can say used for pressure pads to allow activation even if disable interaction is equal to false, right? No, I mean disable is equal to true, right? So this will be the first one, and we will do it on the pressure pad and on the pedestal, obviously. So this will be true, and this will be true for our pedestal, and all for the pressure pad also will be true and true, right? Then we need another property. That is another property that is I don't know if I want to have a is container, but you know, is container is not decided by this. Is container is decided by yeah, let's call it contained item ID. Now you may say, oh, but maybe you want multiple object to be dropped. Yeah, I know. Should I make it an array? But can you have an array in I mean, yes, obviously you can. Like I have this, a T array of interactable object is the same thing. So here in theory I can specify, you see, linked actor, I have an array element and I can say plus, and I can specify a number of. So if I have a string of yeah, we should make it an array. We should actually make it an array. So this should be a T array of what? Of strings? A T array of f string? A T array of f strings, huh? Contained item IDs. Contained, I don't know if this is clear, but basically the point is that list of item stats IDs, right, that can trigger the interaction. They can trigger that will trigger the interactable object, trigger this object, right? Now the only problem I have is if it's more than one. Yeah, but it's fine. I will have to switch. If it's more than one, I will have to switch to another item stats, because obviously in that case this table, I mean this entry will say container max slot 2 or 3 or 4, you know, whatever it is. And probably would be a good idea to set it as 4 at the beginning so it can be reused for whatever. Okay. Yeah, let's try with the multiple ones. That I think is long run is what we need. So we have container item IDs. or trigger or contained item ID to trigger. I don't know, something like that. To activate. I think that's more clear. Contained item IDs to activate, right? And then what we will have to do is that if my disable interaction is false, no, I mean, no, there are two cases. There is, or this is false, or, you know, this is true and this is true. So it is the case, right? So let's say we can activate if direct interaction is allowed, or if direct interaction is not allowed, but server-side activation is on. Activation is allowed, right? So, because here we will have a server-side activation. Now, I don't know if this thing can be exploited, like that you... But I don't think it can, because this is running server-side, right? And we are checking the property of the object server-side. So even if client-side you change the property of the object to be true, I don't think it will work server-side, right? So I think it should be safe. I think it's safe. I think it's safe. In theory. Okay, so in this case, we will have these two true and these two true, right? True and true. And if this is true and this is false, right, it will not go through this. Exactly. So by default, this should be false, should be on only on the pedestal. So at that point, the pedestal will check the distance and everything else will work as expected, right? Now the problem I have is that no, I think it's perfect. The rest works exactly as expected. So the rest, the do toggle will toggle, perfect, no issue with that. The script to run on toggle will run, right? So it's so this code doesn't change, which is fantastic. This code doesn't change at all. And we are good, right? And we are good. Now the problem is how to call request toggle from my character when I drop an item into a container that is an interactable object, right? So that happens inside slot manager. Happens inside slot manager and is in move from inventory, right? Because you can move only, well, in theory you can also move from container to container, which will be a bit annoying. Like you have two containers open. No, you cannot have two containers open. So in theory it's impossible. So you can, yeah, so it happens only from inventory to container. So we are here, right? It cannot be. Exactly. Exactly. So I think container is this case. Container is this case. So I think all these checks are good. It cannot be a container inside another container. It cannot be. I mean, it must be a real object that actually exists in the world and all of that. All these checks are good. 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 All these checks are good because it can be locked in theory. Okay, and here we do the thing, right? So here we say check if the container is an interactable object. Check if the container is interactable. So here we say so my container is what? Is this, huh? That is my container. Well, this phrase is super stupid. This phrase is wrong. This doesn't mean that it's a parent item. This means just that it's an item of the... Anyway. I don't know why it's called parent item. It should be called container item. I don't know why it's called parent item. It doesn't make any sense to me, but why parent? It's not the parent, it's the container itself. I don't understand. It's super confusing that it's called parent item. It's very, 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 very confusing. Okay, apart from changing that, anyways, was a good change. We have to check if our container item is an EPS interactable actor, right? So Right. So if he's an interactable actor, now the question here is if he's an interactable actor. If he's an interactable actor, you know, in addition to this code, because this code is still valid, this code is still so actually I think I need to do it at the bottom, not here. I think that I still need to take out from my inventory the item. I have to put it in the I have to put it in the container. I have to do all of this. I have to do start auto work in case yeah, why not? Why not? All of this is still valid. But in addition, obviously only if you manage to add it, right? Because if you didn't manage to add it, so here we don't want to do anything. So if you actually manage to add it, we check if it's an interactable container. And if it's an interactable container, we call request toggle. Right? With the initiator being our from client. Right? And at this point, in theory, everything should work as expected, because this will call the request toggle. It will do the check that we just added on the other side, and it will run the scripts if we need to run scripts, and it will toggle if we need to be toggled, and whatever. Now we need to be able to check that the item is correct, right? So that's the complexity. So do we do it here already, or do we do it inside request toggle? I probably prefer to do it inside request toggle. In theory, we could do it here. We could do like if blah blah blah, you know, but I don't think it's the best place to do it, because this function is just saying, hey, I'm moving something. Yeah, exactly. Request your toggle. And inside the request toggle, we can say this, and this will be true. So we will go through this. We will go inside of this for our pedestal. And all these checks will be valid. But the can toggle now is made of two pieces. Right, so I think this one should not be called anymore can toggle mat script, but it should just be called can toggle. And inside of this can toggle mat script, we check if mat script can toggle blah blah blah, and if our IDs match with what we have inside the object, right? I don't want to call it only can toggle because I fear that. I mean, we can check actually, but I fear that there is already a can toggle. Is it? Can toggle. No, actually, no. Okay, we can call it can toggle. I don't know if we have a can toggle on the blueprint side, do we? Like if I go here and I say can toggle, I don't know. I remember that this can toggle. No, we don't have it. Okay, I think it should be fine then. I think it should be fine. I don't know. I have my sixth sense is telling me not to do to avoid calling it like that, but it seems to be fine. So probably we can. I don't know why the C is lowercase, by the way. I have no idea. Okay, we will call it can toggle. We will call it can toggle. Obviously, you can have both. You can have a can toggle math script plus, you know, a contained ID. Right? You can have both if you want. So basically, with this system, you could have a slot machine, right? You can have a slot machine that you put a coin and it's doing something, right? Something that we didn't have in the past. But with this change, we will have. So we can create a slot machine in the game. If we want to. Right? Fine. Let me just drink something. Let's say the beauty of this is that it's basically reusing 99% of the code that we already have, right? I mean, we just added very, very little. We added very, very little. We added so little, boys. Now, you may specify something like the container ID in something that is not a container. And obviously, if you do that, yeah, if you do that, this will never work, right? But fine. I mean, we can maybe throw the error. We can maybe throw the error and say, yeah, maybe we can do a check and just throw the error. Like, if this object is not a container and he has some container ID, obviously we have a problem, right? No, wait. I need to get the item. I need to get the data item, whatever. The item data. So I need to get the item data. And this one, I think we have a get is container, right? So if this one is not a container and our contained string IDs activate is not empty, right? We have a problem because we are trying to check for contained item on an item that is not a container. So yeah. Okay, so now, so let's do a ulog whatever, right? So we just print out something. So we do ulog log temp log text whatever. Invalid definition in interactable object. An interactable object. An interactable object %d. Invalid definition. Interactable is not a container, but as contained item ID to activate, right? So %s. So we can say get UID or whatever. Yeah, get UID, and then we do contained item to activate, right? Okay. So if this happens, obviously is a problem. Wait. There is an array. Wait. There is an array, yeah, boys. So we do num. We do. So we do num. So we print out the first one, or what? I would just put the first ID. Right? I think I would just do the first ID. I don't care to print them all. I don't want to do, you know, a for loop to print all the array. Unless the array is a toString. Does the array has a toString? If the array is a toString, then yes. Ah, he has a toString. Okay, fantastic. He has a toString, so we can do that. Okay. So now, oh my god, this one is an unsigned. Why we use unsigned stuff, really? Yeah, I know that if I do this, the compiler will say, "Oh, you are trying to force an unsigned into a non-unsigned." Why is still complaining, by the way? I have no idea. Why is still complaining, boys? What did I change here? Did I change anything here? I don't think so. What? What did we change in PS character? I think nothing. I think I just clicked on something, but anyway. Okay, so we do this, right? Else what should we do? We should check. We're still complaining, this guy. Why doesn't like my percentage D and my percentage S? Why doesn't like toString, you know, of this? Why doesn't like it? Huh? toString. What? It's not the way, yeah? It is not the way. Why? TRA toString. What? Layout parameters and out context. Holy shit. Yes, two parameters that are doing some weird stuff. Why? toString or not toString? Okay, GG. Already too much time. It's fine. We go with the first one, okay? We go with the first array and with the first element, and that's it. I don't really care. I don't really care. Okay. Now what do we do? What do we do? We have to check that the item. Now the problem is that if I check, do we have a way to check that a container is containing the items that we want? I don't know. Container item. And by the way, we need to check that item data must be valid, huh? Because, I mean, container item must be valid. If it's not valid, we have a problem. I mean, if not container item, we just return and we return false. Did it just to avoid a crash, right? Did it just to avoid a crash? Fine. So if this is true, right? Then we do what? Then we check. I need to understand if we have a way to check. Do we have a contains or something? No. We cannot check if a container contains. We don't have this function. We don't have this function. Incredible, Hula, that YouTube is working, huh? With well, it was working. Is it slots or slot? I don't remember. Slots with the S at the end. But the slots are very, very hard. You usually lose. While the gamble is easier, the slots are... But the slots are giving you a lot of money if you win. So we don't have a container contains. I think we should have a container contains. The question is, how do we do this check in a smart way? Because basically I will have to go through the items. I will have to copy the items that it contains. And I will have to check, you know... Also, do we want to be strict, meaning that the container must contain exactly those items and those items in a particular sequence, or is fine that the items are contained in any... And if the item is there but is in multiple quantity, if it's there with a multiple quantity, then do we consider it okay? Or do we want to have the strict quantity? Wow, so many questions. So many questions. Is it possible that we don't have a contains? We never had the need to check if... I mean, Work Manager never had the need to check if a container is including certain items. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. That we don't have something like this already. I think we don't have it done. I think we don't have it. I mean, I can add it. I can add this function, and so we will have it forever. It should be on PS item, right? Find item in slot. Yeah, exactly. So it's similar to find item in slot, but we basically want it multiple. We want multiple items, right? It's like find... I think we can just call it contains. Gem container. Add to container, can add. Remove from container, can is pick up about this position. Let me check 1 second this gem container, right? Do you think if I search plane shift gem container I can find the source code or not? Fantastic. Yeah, these were all the functions. There were no other functions. And the easy part is you don't need to change too much for changing the other fountain into giant casino roulette. Yeah, exactly. So you throw a coin into the fountain and the fish comes out, right? Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's add a new function that is contains, just contains. Contains. Do you think there is already a contains? I think there is already a contains sometimes. So let me see if I go in PS item, whatever, and I say contains. No, it doesn't exist. Contains object of class. Wow, what is contain object of class? That's a real engine thingy. Right? Cannot be an Unreal Engine thingy because it is our class. Contains object of class. What? Uh-oh. U object global. But PS item is not. What? PS item is not a U object, so I don't understand what is the point. But anyway. Okay, we can call it anyway. We can call it contains. We can call it contains. It's not a problem. We can call it contains. Now, what should this thing get? Is our T array of object IDs? I think so. I think it's our array of object ID, nothing less, nothing more. I think it would be nice if we could have, you know, a kind of a strict, like a boolean that say like strict quantity or any quantity. But so that we check also the quantity or not. Because a big ball run and stop on a color number. I see. So how do we do this thing? We have to cycle on all the contained items. All the contained items are stored in a container items. Wait. Pa pa para para. Pa pa para para. So item list, huh? Item list. Item stack. Yeah, basically it's item list, right? Great documentation, I see. These are the contained item, I assume. I mean, it's not written, but I assume that these are the contained items. Why? Container get item data. What? What? Container iterator. What the fuck is this? Container get item index. Yeah, it's item list at the end, bro. Why we do all this mess? Why we just use the array? Wow. Okay, that was a bit weird. But it's fine. I don't know, we do super complex stuff for just but okay. Okay, so what do? We need to check, right, that our item list contains. So I think that the easiest would be that we create like a temporary array with our objects. Well, we already have it actually. Is the array that we get here, right? Is this object ID, right? We are not passing it by reference. We are really passing the actual array, so it's getting copied inside this function. So we can change it, and I think nothing will happen, right? So we can remove items from it. No, because the idea would be to get this array, check, remove the items from this array as we go through this. If right, if is so item list of I of what get ID, get UID. So if the get UID of this thing equals to any of the items that I have in my list, I can remove it, right? So actually I need to do a 4 inside a 4. Interesting. The only problem is that I would like to remove from the array because Sorry, can I build this from... can I build this from this? So just to have a copy of that shit so I can iterate and at the same time... I can, right? I assume that this works, right? This is creating an array with the input of another array, no? Is it copying it, right? I hope so. Is it copying? It's not destroying it, huh? It's not, I mean, it's not pointing to that. I think it's copying. Okay, anyway. So we need to cycle on... we need to cycle on object ID. Yeah, on object IDs, num, right? And we basically check if I mean, obviously we need to for j. And we need to check if our item list of I get UID whatever. And I can also do something like that. Right? So we can say if contained ID is equal to object ID yeah, actually I'm saying int, but we get it as a string. This thing comes to us as a string. It doesn't come to us as an int. Because in our there is a string array, and stays as a string array. Now, you know what I'm thinking is that no, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine, boys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everything is as expected. I think so. Okay, anyway, if contained ID is equal to object ID of j, and then we need to do an f string, an fc string a2 whatever, a2e of this, right? So if this thing is equal to that, then we are good. And we can remove the removal though. And we can remove oh my god, it's so bad to be an array. It would be so much easier to be a T-map. Should we transform it to a T-map so we access directly? Because then I will have to take into account that the thing may be... oh my god. The array... I mean, or we scan it from the end. We do the usual trick. No, but even if we scan it from the end, because we may remove an item in the middle. This is the usual problem all the time. Yeah, because you have to remove elements from an array that you are scanning, right? So the solution to that is to scan it from the end. Yeah, this is probably what we should do. So we don't even need the copy then. We don't even need the copy then. We don't even need the copy. So we start from the top, right? We start from the top of the array and we go down and we check if the minus minus is less than 0, right? No, less or equal to 0. Right? Because it can be right. So if it's 1, if I enter with 1, right? If I enter with 1, I do 1 cycle, then the jj minus minus is going to 0, and that's it. I should not do another cycle, right? So in this case, if the contained ID is equal to my object ID da 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 da, this is the last element. Well, no, this is the J element. So if that's true, I can take my object ID and remove at. But be careful because this guy wants the index, right? So it will be J minus 1, otherwise we do a mess. Because we are scanning based on the ID, on the number. Well, then this is wrong as well. Can we do number minus 1 and GG? But number minus 1, so yes, can we, is it better to do it there? Yeah, probably yes. And so we don't have to do minus 1 everywhere, eh? So we go by index and not by like this. Goodbye, Dragos. Hey, thank you for stopping by and thank you for your help on the website. I will test it. I will test it later, tomorrow. I don't know when, but I want to finish this because I really want to have a release this weekend, and because then I'm going for a week, so I want to have a release this weekend, do the switch of IP. We have a number of things that need to happen now that we shut down the old legacy machine. So I want to put as much code as I can into this release so that is good release. Have a good night. So okay, so if the container blah blah blah, we remove the last, right? Which is the usual issue. Yeah, test it. It's a nice game. Yes. I also need to put in the Sorry, I was just checking some DMs and stuff. Okay. Okay. So we remove that. Now, this will continue to cycle. Basically continue to remove items from this array. And basically here the point is that if something is still in the array means we didn't find all items, okay? So we can say if object ID num is greater than 0, then we return false, otherwise we return true. Okay, let's try to compile this, assuming that the contains that I called. Okay, here we need to say if container item contains da 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 da, then we return true. Then we return true, otherwise we return false, right? Wait, there is a mistake here. Okay. I mean, obviously we need to have items to do this check, otherwise it would make no sense to do this check, right? So we do this check only if the num is greater than 0. And yeah. Yes. Okay, so now if this is kind of what we want, then now we need to create an item. So we create an item like this arcane pedestal that, okay, size 1, blah, 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 blah. And the only point would be that we need a reference, right? To, yeah, we will also need an icon. Well, an icon we don't really need. We don't care about the icon, actually. And we don't care about the texture. I think the texture can be empty, actually. It cannot be sold. I mean, this item will never be picked up. Now the description will be important because an arcane pedestal. An arcane pedestal. I don't know. What? Let's say I can't pass that for now. I will think about the description of this thing, but that's fine. Okay, so we insert this, which will be our 90,000. Now I need well this code to compile first of all, and then I need in the editor to get the reference to the blueprint that I create, right, with that stuff. Yeah, this becomes can toggle. Okay. What? Yes, you are right. Ay, 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 ay. Ah, work container. Thank God. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Okay, succeeded. So we launch the editor. We launch the editor. Okay. Now from the editor we create a blueprint. By the way, we also need to change the pedestal, huh? We need to change the pedestal. And that pedestal is used luckily only in one map, so I think I can kind of easily right, this pressure pad now. This pressure pad now should have the new stuff that we added. Exactly, allow server side activate, right? So if we go blueprint interactable actor and we take the pressure pad and we say that our pressure pad as a default as disable interact through and allow server side activate through, and I compile and save, right? And now fantastic, now all the pads as you can see have changed. Fantastic. Okay, so now we will have to retest the pressure pad because we did a change for it. But now our pedestal, okay, our pedestal now I think we want what do we want? Wait, I need to create a blueprint which is actually a child of the interactable class, right? So I will say all classes interactable PS interactable actor, exactly. So this will be called interactable container, right? Interactable container. And interactable container will have yes, the mesh and everything else. Now we can have a cube. I mean, I don't know, as a just as a placeholder, no? We can have a cube. What the hell? Why we don't see all the other cubes that are in the engine? What? Are you crazy? Why is it restricting the search? What is the... Why? What do you mean we don't have a cube? I mean, we have a million cubes, like... We don't have a cube. Huh? Okay, let's take it. Let's take a crate. Okay, let's take a crate. Crate is fantastic. Crate. Crate 01. Crate 01 is fantastic. Okay, this will be the thingy. This is in the default class. Then obviously in our we will change it. And in terms of property, also this one will be disable interaction, allow server side activate, right? So will at the moment will not be trapped, will not be whatever, right? Will not be any of that. Okay, let me just. I'm thinking what I'm missing. I think I'm missing a step. I don't know which one, but I'm pretty sure I'm missing a step in all of this. But fine. I'm missing a step 100%. But 0903 was it? 0903. Probably. Yes. 0903. Let me remove the fog. Okay. Where was the location? Here was our location, huh? This was our location. So in theory, what I should do now is to say, so that's an interactable actor. I don't think I want to create it here. I think I want to create, I don't know where to put it though. Fuck it. I mean, it's the same. Okay, let's do a blueprint class which is a child of interactable container, and we call it arcane pedestal. Okay, and arcane pedestal will use this pedestal 01. Okay. Now the problem is the size, because this thing is insanely big. So we will have to do probably 0.2 or something. I don't know. No, 0.2 is really too small. 0.2 is too small, boys. We want it. Wait. What? What happened? Oh my god, come on, don't be annoying. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. So we do a 0.4. Okay. So this guy is a full PS object, right? This one. The previous one was just a static mesh. This one is our guy. What we need to say to this guy is that we also want disable direct interaction, allow server side activate. Exactly. We don't have any specific script on toggle at the moment, whatever. But we want our contained items ID, right? The contained items ID will be, what do we put into it? we will put into it whatever. We will put into it it must be a normal item. I don't know anything, boys. A battle axe, okay? A battle axe. So we will put in a battle axe. So it will be ID number 3, right? ID number 3. Okay. So if we do like this, I know that the ID 3 is a bit annoying because we have to specify a number, but... And I do save all, right? And I do save all. Now I take... no, but wait a second. Do I want to put it like this on the map? Or I want to... No, I cannot put it like this on the map. Can I? No, I cannot. I cannot put it like this on the map. It needs to be a PS managed object. So I need to take a copy of this reference, right? Put it in my... fuck. No, mistakes were made. No. No. All my theory is fucked. All my theory is completely fucked. Oh shit. I mean, I will do it anyway, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because, okay, let's say that I put here, you know, I put here, I mean, it's partially correct, but it's not correct. Let's say that I put here my thingy, right? Fine. I say save. So now we have this. So now basically I can spawn an arcane pedestal, right? And I can drop it into the game. The problem is that I will never be able to set the links to other objects, right? In the map because I cannot manage it from the editor. So if I drop this guy here, I can, but it doesn't have, and so I can do link. I can do link actor, right? I can do linked actor. But if I generate it from my... Holy shit. Okay. I mean, my theory is not fully correct, but I think we can work on this. I think we can fix it. So the good news, well, I don't know if there is a good news. Okay, let's launch it like this, right? Let's launch it like this. So like this, what I can do is to have an interactable container that in theory is able to toggle based on an item that you put into it. The problem is that the result of the toggle I'm thinking, but I think we have a problem. The result of the toggle cannot be specified in the editor, right? It needs to be specified server side somehow in the loading. Crap. Because if I just drag and drop the item from the editor, it will not be a PS item. It will not be a real container, right? It will not be. So, or I have a way to associate to associate an existing editor item to a PS item in the database, but today we cannot do that. Today we cannot do that. So I need to find another way. I didn't think about it. I completely forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. So my solution is not gonna work. I mean, it's gonna work partially. It's gonna work partially. Because we have the problem of how to specify what is the effect, you know, of the item going in. That is the problem that we have. So I can go here, right? And I can spawn an arcane pedestal, right? In theory. Item arcane pedestal. Couldn't spawn. Your inventory is full. Oh my god. My inventory is full. Please, can I eat this fish? No, we said that I cannot eat it. Why my inventory is always such a mess? The first time you drop an item to the ground is like going crazy. Okay, we have it. Is that, I mean, the icon, I just used this icon, but obviously doesn't matter, I mean, but it's okay. Modify target remove. So if I drop this arcane pedestal, this guy here, right? This is the pedestal that we wanted to have. And this pedestal can be used as a container. And as you can see, he has one slot. So I'm able to drop into this container anything. And now we didn't print anything when we do the thingy, but I think that if I drop the right item, right? Now the only problem are all these freaking icons that I think we should disable somehow, but basically with this we are using the existing inventory system, right? I don't have to do anything. So this guy is able to contain an item, and if I put an item here and then I take it from here and I put it to the ground, it's gonna work, right? So everything is working as expected, so which is fantastic. If I now do, you know, item battle axe, and I put the battle axe, this guy now toggles. Now I don't know, we didn't print anything, so we don't really know. We don't really know if it's toggling or not, but I hope it is. It doesn't show though. Let me check 1 second the pedestal though. I want to see if I didn't break the pedestal. Uh-oh, I break the pedestal. Request interact. I think because probably we have a check now on the pedestal that we should remove that. I think we may have a problem on the. Let's fix 1 second the pedestal, because the pedestal I want that one working, right? I think there is probably a check. Disable direct interaction, allow server side activate. So these two are on, right? Let me just check one thing. Disable direct. Now, in theory here we are not checking disable direct interaction. We are not. So why the pedestal is not working anymore? Considering that I overlap for sure. Yeah, you see overlap and overlap, right? Overlap and overlap is happening. So I am overlapping like a boss. So that is not triggering. It's not triggering, so probably let me see. If not disable interaction, right? And at the moment disable interaction is disabled, right? Or disable interaction true, and yes, it is true, and allow server side activate is true, right? So these two are true. So in theory, you should go through this. You should do exactly what we saw. So why is not doing it? Why is not doing it? Why is not doing it? I can debug it, but it's very, very strange. It's very, very strange that is this guy, right? Is this guy? Yes, he has disable direct interaction true and allow server side activate true. Let me see if we didn't lose the other parameters. Direction down, move distance 10. No, all the other parameters seems to be fine. Script on toggle, linked actor forward move, time of animation 02 is trapped, the trap property yes, trap script fire the mage. There is something happening that is not working here. Why? Pressure pad. So we see the overlap, right? We see overlap, yes. And we see smooth, blah blah blah. Request toggle on server. Unless here there is a check that says disable interaction, but no, it's not. What the fuck is going on? Oh no, it's not working. It's not toggling. It's not toggling. It's not toggling at all. Okay, we can debug it. Anyway, we need to debug the other one, so let's debug this one as well. Fine. Sorry, I was not reading the chat. Does you provide all necessary networking support? Are you doing custom solution? No, we are using the standard. Networking of Unreal. Now, server side, we customize quite a bit. But if you mean networking movement of Unreal Engine, yes, we are using exactly that. And for our own server client calls, we use the RPC mechanism that are embedded inside Unreal Engine, and it's working fairly well for us. So all the messages that we send are using the standard networking protocol, so which allows you already to pass pretty much allows you to serialize on the call pretty much anything, strings, arrays, and whatever objects. So you can pass a reference to an actor client side to the server, and the server will have the same reference. So yeah. Yes, we are. So my logic is good only up to the point of putting the items into the container, and but then not, because the question is how do we trigger now something in the world, right? Now I could script it. The problem of scripting it is that it will not be a direct link to an actor, and we will have to search the actor in the world every time we trigger. It's so annoying. I will have to think about it, because I have to think about this. Also, I think that the standard container window is a bit messy. I think it's very messy. Why so messy? I mean, why every container has all those buttons, combine, use, whatever, right? So I think it should be only the containers that are used for crafting should have all that stuff. All the other containers should not, right? I mean, it's true that if you want to mix two items, you can mix them on any table or any bowl, on any... But this seems to be making... This makes the UI a bit messy. No? Oh crap, I didn't load items. I didn't load items, so the pedestal is not here. Okay, we can spawn another one. That's fine. Okay, so what we want to see, well, we want to see a few things. First, we want to see when we jump on this thing, yeah, exactly, why we are not, we are toggling. Wait. Can toggle is false. Wait a second. I think I did a mistake, I did a mistake in the can toggle, so he's trying to read this anyway. Stupid me. Okay, there is a mistake here. Yeah. Yes. How do I want to do this check? Yeah, that is not... I need to do this check in another way. But anyway, before that, let's try to do this other test. The other test is if I put a battle X into this guy, right? I want to see if it actually works. So if I do item battle X and I put a battle X here, right? Now I want to see if we go through this. Yes, we do. Okay, we do. And fuck, we gotta turn in false. Okay, let me test this. Let me understand why. There is another mistake. There is another mistake. There is another mistake. There is another mistake inside of this. There is another mistake here. Contains object ID contains one guy. Contained ID. If object ID. Okay, this thing is broken. What? Fuck. This is the stay in clause. It's not the exit clause. So it should be the opposite. Should be greater than, boys. Should be greater than. Greater than z. Should be. Because I said -1, right? So it should be greater than -1. Yeah, I think it's a bit messy. Can we say greater than 0? Avoid the -1 here. Because there is the condition while it stays in, not the condition that it goes out, right? Then we need to do, the problem is that now we need to do -1 here and -1 here, right? Otherwise we will not remove it properly. So here we enter with 1. We check if we are greater than 0. And yes, we are. And we do object ID 0, right? Which is the first, the first thing. And then we do remove at 0, right? If it was 2, I would go 2, 1, 1, and J becomes 1. Yeah, I think that is correct. So this was a mistake, and the other mistake is here. Because this check is valid for our container, but it's not valid for... let me just pick this up. By the way, I can... in theory I could trigger it when it's in my inventory, yeah? Oh my god. I could trigger it while it's in my inventory. Yeah, because that's a container. That's a container in all means, by all means. It's a real container. It's a plane shift container. So you can carry it in your inventory, and you can trigger it in your inventory. Okay, anyway, I think it's the best solution anyway. It's the best solution. But so we need this code, this piece of code, to work also in the other case. So how do we know that that is not true, right? It is not true for the other interactable. So that is not true for the other interactable. It's true only for you know what we can do? We can do the opposite. We can say, yeah, let's do this. Let's say that to enter into this, To enter into this, I enter only if container item is valid, right? Let's do it this way. So this would be completely skipped in case it's not a container, right? Will be completely skipped in case it's not a container. And in any case, if it's not a container, it will exit from here and it will go through, right? Okay, so this way it works, I think. This way it works. This way it will trigger. This way it will trigger. Now, can we have... I don't know if we can have just a printout or something to actually trigger our guy. But I think here we have a major problem, which is how do we now tell the pedestal that we want him to do something, right? So that's a major problem. That's a major problem. How do we tell the pedestal? So we have two ways. Or we put the pedestal in. I need to think about that. So we solved 50% of the problem, but the other 50%, I still need to understand how to do it. Perhaps with a pedestal you can summon some sort of ghost for a quest. Yes. Basically now the pedestal can take an item and can trigger based on the item that you put in. Now we can execute a script, and a script is very easy to do. But if you want, for example, the pedestal to open a door, right? This is actually not possible. But I need to fix it, right? Because this is exactly what I wanted to do. If you remember the discussion of yesterday, what I wanted to do, I wanted this pedestal to have like something that you put into it and is opening a door, right? That goes below. So, yeah, I mean, it's not something that I need to use now, like tomorrow, but it's something that I would like to have working. The problem is that the door exists in the editor, right? Exists in the editor. And it does not exist, well, it exists here as well, but is not directly linked. So, I mean, it's a bit hard to explain. But I need to find a solution to that. Will not be a very easy solution, I guess. So one way would be to define, you know, the trap properties and all of that. Well, actually, I think I extended already, right? I extended already the database structure to have, for example, the trap properties, if I remember right? Yes, exactly, trap properties. Now, these trap properties, ID, item instance, action location, trap script, blah, 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 blah. Exactly the same thing that I'm doing here. In theory should be. The problem is that it's not exactly the same. But with this technique we can already do stuff, right? For example, we can have a pedestal that you put in an item and is healing you, right? Or is casting a spell, right, on you, or is casting a spell in the surrounding, or is giving you another item. So this is already much better than what we had, but it's not 100% of what I need. So at the moment, you know, the pedestal can... What can the pedestal do? What can the pedestal do? The pedestal can right now cast a spell on you or the surrounding, right? It can give you an item. It can consume what you put in. It can whatever. It can give you money. You know, it can give you items or money. It can already do a lot of stuff, right? Because it's basically using any scripting. What a pedestal cannot do, and I would like him to do, what a pedestal cannot do, at the moment, it cannot open a door. Fuck. It cannot open a door that is defined in the editor as an item, right? It cannot. You cannot open a door. PT. PT, huh? PT. But yeah, it can generate a monster. It can do whatever. Well, generate a monster, I don't know. But generate a monster is not that easy. Generate a monster. Generate a monster is not that easy. But I can trigger it like this. I can trigger it like this in my inventory. It's the same. No? It's not? Wow. Why is not? Ah, because it's not an interactable. Ah, yes. Because while it's in my inventory, it's not an interactable object. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, disable interaction. You are too far away. Ah, you see? You are too far away to interact. Well, you are too far away to interact. In theory, I put in my stuff, but fine. Let's see. No, it's returning false. Fuck. Why is it returning false? Ah, yes. It's returning false because the IDs are not set. Ah, fuckerinos. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is empty. What? This is 3? I'm so confused now. What the hell is going on? Wait. Wait a second. How can this pedestal have 3 as an interactable object if... Ah, yes. Because I created... Ah, yes. Okay, fine. It's good. It's good. We just need to understand why this fails. Because this is actually failing and I don't understand why. I don't understand why this is failing. Contain ID. This number. Object num. Contain ID. Ah, because I'm stupid like a monkey. Okay, sorry. This is not UID. Because this get UID is... We don't need get UID. We need get item stats, whatever. Get base stats, whatever. And then get ID. Exactly. We need to read the item type, not the item instance, right? Okay, fine. I think now it will work. I think now it will work. Maybe what we can do, you know what we can do? We can just print out something so it's a bit easier. Can toggle. Let's do this. Let's do this so we see it, because otherwise it's too long. I would say container. I would say interactable container, interactable container, %d, activated, right? Interactable container. Well, let's maybe put the name of the thing. Get name. Let's do get name. I think it will work now. But we still cannot open a door. Fine. I mean, I think I need to add another. I think I need to add another table. Yeah, I think I need to add another table. Similarly to what I did to traps, in the same way I did the traps, I can do interactable properties, right? Interactable properties, and we add the linked objects, and then it will be able to open a door. Or wait, even better, we could have a placeholder. Yeah, but that is not the greatest idea. Yeah, maybe I need to have a placeholder in the editor which is already carrying all the properties that we need, and when we load the database, we search for the placeholder and we swap it with the real item. No, we don't need to swap it. We just need to set get item data. Yeah, something like that. I think I have an idea how to fix it. I mean, how to do the open door. I think I have an idea to how to do the open door. We need to so the idea would be to have a dummy, no, to have a placeholder object in the level, right? With the interactable properties set in the editor. And then we will, and when we load the game, we search for that placeholder and add the well, we have to add it server side though, eh? Yes, and add server side, the PS item data. I think like this it may work, eh? Now I don't know if I think like this it may work. I don't know if it is the most elegant solution, but because here the problem is that we need to associate to an editor object server-side stuff, right? But it is actually a pretty powerful concept that we can use also in the future for other stuff. Even if spawning on the fly is always a better idea, I guess, but if you have something in the level, I mean, it's a bit of a special case, because this means that we have something in the level that is in a fixed location, and that we want basically an interactable spawned object to interact with the level itself, right? So I don't even know if I need it now to open the door. Maybe we can leave the open door to the future, right? I don't know if I really need it now. But there are still a few things. Okay, so if I open this guy and I remove the thing, and now I put it in, and we just execute it, I want to see if we reach the if we reach this, right? Yes, you see? Now we activate it. So, okay, fantastic. He activated. Pedestal is here. You cannot see it, but it's here. Interactable container arcane pedestal activated. Okay, so basically, you know, the basic is working. We have the problem with the open door, but basically I can do whatever I want now. So I can play a sound effect, you know. Because it's using our scripting fully, right? So I can play a sound effect. I can show a particle effect. I can do whatever I want when I put that particular item, right? Now we may check if it works also with 2 items, but I think it will. But we should check if it works also with multiple items. So now we need to think, guys, how to use this, right? How to use it. How should we use this thing? The first thing I wanted to do was the shrines, right? So that you get a random event of a shrine. The shrine of Lanx is like showing up. You go there, and when you and if you give an item, you know, if you offer an item to the god, then he's blessing you or is giving you something, right? So that would be one way. And now we can do it. The second thing I was thinking is why we need all this mess, right? Why we need all this mess? My idea was that my idea was basically only I mean, like, for example, rename, right? What the fuck, rename? Rename should not appear if the container is on the ground, by the way. Anyway, rename should not be there. I think all of this also should not be there. There should be only the description, right? Only the description, and okay, the icon if you want, and the contained stuff. I mean, all of this should completely go away, right? So it should be as simple as this. I don't know why, because now we are using one UI for every possible container, but I think it's a bad idea. I think we need to have like a container type or something that is switching between crafting containers and normal containers or setting containers. Maybe it can be a flag. Yeah, I think it should be a flag. I think it should be a flag, but if it's a flag, yeah, it could be a flag on could be a flag on item stats, because now our arcane pedestal, the only flag that he has is container. But I think we can add a new flag that is like simple container, like container simple or something like that. And that will simplify the UI. So that, because for example, you know, you have a quiver, right? You have a quiver, and if you open a quiver, in theory you can put stuff into it, but like this, right? So a quiver can contain ammo, right? But now I put fishes into it. But the point is, why a quiver should have all these buttons, right? Makes absolutely no sense. Well, open inventory, okay. What does transfer inventory do, by the way? I have no idea. Take all. Well, maybe take all could be useful, but I think the two that are very confusing are use and combine, right? Use and combine are very confusing here. You are not sure what to do with one battle axe, huh? What? You still had the other one open or what? How can I rename something that is on the ground? It makes no sense. In fact, you cannot rename it. If it's on the ground, you cannot rename it. But the button is still here. But okay, I mean, that's not a major problem. Okay, guys, I think that at least... what the hell? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why we can enable it? Why we can trigger it manually? We said disable direct interaction, no? Ah, but now because it's a... I see. This can be a problem. This can be a problem because it means that you can trigger it multiple times. Okay, I need to fix that. I mean, it's okay. Because the default interactive... Okay, it's fine. I can fix that. Okay, let me see just if we fix this thing. Uh-oh. We didn't? Ah, okay, no, it was debugging. I think we need to disable breakpoints and it will probably work, but I need to disable breakpoints. Disable all breakpoints. Yeah, it's working again. So the pedestal is working again. And in theory we should not be able anymore to do right click use. Fuck. Why? Ah yes, because I said disable. Sorry, I think I have another flow in the logic. I think I have a flow here because I said yeah, I have to go now though. I have to go. Hello, Fergus. Hey, see you. I have to go as well. I have to go. But they say the basics. Yeah, this check is broken. Because I don't have a way to disable. I need a way to disable the interaction for. I will think about it. I cannot think it now. It's too late. It's midnight 35 and GG. But we did a good progress. I like this thing. I just need to make it fully functional, but I think it's good. I really like it. I really like it. We need to improve a bit the UI. But he has a lot of potential. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. Tomorrow I'm not here because it's Friday, and but we will see each other on Saturday afternoon, okay? Around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. I don't know exactly. Middle of the afternoon of Saturday, depending on what else I need to do. Okay? So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, Saturday. Bye bye. Bye bye.